Hi, my name is Joey, and I'm here to talk to you today about a day in the life at Two Moos. First, I want to do acknowledgement of country. We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and their continuing connection to land and community. We pay our respect to them and their cultures and to the elders both past, present, and emerging. So, who are Two Moos? Well, we partner with family-focused organisations to solve meaningful problems in delightful ways. Two Moos is the family division of Two Bulls. Two Bulls was founded in 2009, and we created Two Moos in 2012 to focus on games, and now we've expanded into more of a family-focused division as well. Okay, let's meet the team. Here's me. I do a lot of business development, bringing in the work, and I work closely with the Two Moos team and the clients to make sure everyone's productive and happy. And this is our Collingwood office. We miss you, Collingwood office. But you know what? It's okay. We have fun with Zoom. It's okay. We've got pets, we've got hats. Here's who I work with. We are made up a group of friendly staff who work across multiple disciplines, including game design delivery, front end and back end engineering, art, animation and UX, 2D and 3D, quality assurance, marketing, people and ops, and where I focus is on business development. While we each have our core skill sets and our core disciplines, we actually really work very closely together across the board. In digital production, especially digital games today, no one can succeed in isolation. Top down, bottom up, regardless of hierarchy, we all have skills and knowledge that can help our projects, our people, and our clients shine. Ways we work. First off, project work. We work in squads to make games and other digital products for our clients. We work with some great clients, including PBS Kids, Viacom, Disney, and Sesame Street. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the makeup of our squads. This is an example of a small squad. A typical game for a small squad would be a 6 to 9 week project for a relatively simple game. In a small squad, the team works super closely together and everyone wears different hats and they work super efficiently and smartly to get the game done on time and budget. I mean, just look at Todd there. He's game producer, game design, and he does audio and sound effects. But he used to be a musician, so he really wants to do that stuff. An example of this is the Webby Award-winning Smiley Scope, a virtual reality experience for kids that helps reduce stress and anxiety as they undergo needle procedures. Here's an example of a typical squad for a medium project, such as a web game for PBS Kids. This is generally around a 3 to 6 month project. So you see, Todd now has someone who is focusing just on delivery, so he can focus on the creative and design and probably the audio too. And if you check out the art, you can see that Chris has now got someone like Drew who can actually help him with the concept art, while Chris can just focus on the 3D modeling and rigging. An example of a medium game is this coding game for girls based on a TV show called Sci Girls Code Quest. It's a multi-platform web game that's also available on the PBS Kids Games app. This is an example of a typical squad for a large project that is quite complex with front-end and back-end requirements such as server hosting and CMS development. A large squad is usually a project that runs longer than 6 months. For example, we built the app for Sesame Workshop and Wayo to help them celebrate Sesame Street's 50th birthday called Sesame Street Yourself. This was complex because it used custom-built augmented reality and a custom-built CMS that allowed Wayo, the company we were building the app for, to create bespoke games and other content within the CMS itself. Sometimes projects suddenly pause or a new project doesn't eventuate, so we have a squad with a bit of idle time on their hands. This was especially true during the long COVID lockdown last year in Melbourne. So in these instances, we have a set of internal projects that we know we can switch an idle squad to. So they're keeping busy, they're learning, and hopefully having a heap of fun on an internal project of our own. Let's talk tools. For our squads to provide the best value for the game, the client, and Tumus, we strive to provide them with the best tools to get the job done. There are so many tools, but at Tumus, we're always trying the latest tools, especially during COVID, where it's more important than ever to ensure clear communication with teams, clients, and ensure that no one is relying on assumptions and everyone has the same information. Some tools we don't like so much, but our clients still use them, such as Basecamp. So, we'll still use it too. So, another way our teams work together at Tumus is through chapter work. Chapters are a collection of employees with a focus and strength in a particular competency with one of our three core disciplines: engineering, creative, and strategy and delivery. Some of our example chapters at Two Bulls and Two Moos are Games Production chapter for Two Moos, the Mobile chapter in engineering, and the Experience chapter in creative. To enable these chapters to succeed, chapter leads and the members are provided explicit resourcing allocation per month, and individuals or teams can approach the resource manager to lock in these resources in and around other parts of work. So meet Cam, he's the games chapter lead. Cam's goals for the games chapter are to keep his people growing and learning, keeping them happy, and keeping them here at Tumus. Some of the work that Cam and the games chapter might be working on this year will be about improving processes across game production, creating new bespoke tools to find production efficiencies across some of the games that are quite similar in structure, learning new tools and sharing knowledge gained with people in the chapter and other people in Tumus, or even discussing new ways to improve communication across disciplines. Here's an example of some recent chapter work that's been completed by one of our senior engineers and generally awesome person, Laurie. Now, Laurie was curious about learning more about Unity Mars. Unity Mars brings environment and sensor data into the creative workflow so you can build intelligent AR apps that are context aware and responsive to a physical space, working in any location and with any kind of data. Sounds cool. So she thought she'd spend a couple of days of chapter time to play around with it and see what she could come up with. And look how cool this is. So she's been able to use an existing asset over the owl that she can bring into the game to test, so she doesn't have to create her own assets. She's able to scan her own apartment, bring that into the game. So now Ovo the owl is playing a game catching magic space eggs in her house. She's been able to create a series of levels where the assets change. And basically, it's a very quick prototype, but look how fun it looks already. I would want to play this. And I'm sure some of our clients would love to hear about this tech too. So what's been great about Laurie doing this chapter work is that not only it's helped her learn, keep interested, and really enjoy her time at Tumus, she's been able to demonstrate a new way of play that we can actually pitch to some of our existing clients and potentially get more work out of it. So it's really great and very exciting. Another way we work together at Tumus is with business development. Like many studios, Tumus is a service-based company. We generate income by providing digital services instead of selling digital products. When I started off at Tumus in 2012, I really hated the thought of doing business development. I thought it was for people in suits sucking up to people. But in reality, it turned out to be super creative, super fun, and super rewarding. And just like our other ways of working at Two Moos, it's a fully team effort. You can't do biz dev by yourself. You need a whole army of people to help support you finding the clients, building the relationships, winning the work, delivering a successful product to the client, and having a team that is fulfilled and happy with the work that they've done. So I'm going to talk you through a day in the life of a current project. And that day is going to be a Monday. And that project is going to be a project that involves augmented reality using Vuforia. Now, this project we're doing is for one of our regular and favorite US-based clients that we work really well with. And the game is intended to extend the learning of a current TV show that they've got out for kids. And the project itself is scheduled to run for 14 weeks and is due the end of July. So we're at the tail end of the project. And here's a sneaky peek of the project. And this is the game project's squad. And they're probably working on this game right as this presentation is running. Here is this project's regular production schedule. So because the client is based in North America, our Monday is their Sunday. So our fearless project leader, Harry, has decided to put all the big meetings on the Monday to free up the team for the fun work, which is all the coding and creating of the art assets and doing all the testing the rest of the week, basically. So Monday is very busy. It consists of a 5 minute stand up, a team retro, team sprint planning, and a portfolio review. So those meetings alone pretty much take up a whole day. The only meeting we have directly with the client on this particular project is a 7 a.m. client catch up on Thursdays. 7 a.m. because they're in North America and we are here. And these are the tools that everyone on the project uses on a day to day basis. Zoom is great for internal and client meetings, and it's especially handy for those weekly 7 a.m. meetings with a North American client. G Suite we use for collaborative documents and spreadsheets, internally and with the client. We use our internal Slack and the client Slack channel for both day-to-day comms and also for build updates. And Campanize is where we go for our backlog grooming and progress management. Then there are more selective tools for this project. Figma is a really great art tool that is very collaborative, and for this project is mainly used for the 2D UI elements. Unity, of course, we're doing this whole thing in Unity Euphoria, and Bitbucket is a Git repository management solution that all your students need to know. So first thing on Monday morning, and in fact every morning, is the 5 minute stand up. In the stand up, the team has two simple things that they need to answer. What did they complete on the previous workday? And what are they planning to do today? Next meeting is the team retro. So this retro can go for like half an hour or an hour, and that includes what they think worked, what they think needs to be pushed forward, and then seeing things that they thought that was really good that week, and also things that might need improvement. For our retros, we use a really fun and simple tool called Metro Retro. Sprint Plan is created by the collaborative work of the team. For this, we use Kanbanize, a great tool for tracking the backlog and doing backlog grooming and sprint planning. It's also super customizable, so you can really make Kanbanize work for both your team and your product. After a hearty lunch, the team is going to meet up for a portfolio review. The portfolio review generally goes for around 30 minutes, sometimes an hour, and it incorporates the whole project team as well as the 2Moos program manager, who in this case is also the producer of this game, Harry, our engineering manager, Simon, and myself. The purpose of the meeting is to provide visibility to managers into how well the project is progressing towards meeting its objectives. In this meeting, we typically review a document called the engagement cover sheet. At 2Moos, the engagement cover sheet is managed by the game delivery lead, and it tracks how well the project is doing by a series of metrics against the originally baseline project. It's also a way to check that the team is sticking to the project's core vision and objectives. And at the end of the meeting, the team has a chance to present their previous sprint's work, such as new animations or new components to the game, to the meeting stakeholders. At the end of the project, we have an end of project retro that covers off some of these questions that you can see on the screen. And usually we have a brown bag, which is a quick presentation letting the whole company know how the project went, what were the successes, what could have been improved, and the outcome. And if we're in the office together, we would often celebrate with pizza and card game. But even though we're stuck at home on Zoom, we still find a way to celebrate and have fun. Thanks for listening to the talk, and I hope you found it useful. If you have any questions, we'd be delighted to chat with you in the Q&A.